Let's make this clear. Shut it down. Shut the government down, because the Democrats out here want you to give 1.4 billion with a B dollars to feed and house illegal immigrants. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You do not get money for being a criminal. Over 14 million people crossed the border under the Biden-Harris administration. 14 million. Do you know what percentage of those people are actually people from Mexico? Because that seems to be, that's all in my comment section is, you don't like Mexicans, but you're Hispanic, you're turning on your people, blah, blah, blah. Less than 4%. Less than 4% of those people that crossed the border under Biden and Harris were actually from Mexico. They actually came from India, from China, from Honduras, from Venezuela, from all of these Muslim countries that are out here trying to take over our communities. And let me remind you, Obama was the deporter in chief. So sometimes I can't even comprehend, or even don't even want to make a video kind of replying to some of these people, because the lack of facts that they have is just ridiculous. But no, under no circumstance should we pass a bill that has that much money after the amount of money we've already put into the system for these illegal immigrants. So shut it down. Shut it all the way down. I don't care. Take fucking 2 weeks off. Whatever.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line. Hello, America. This is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Democrats in Congress have shut down the federal government because they care more about funding health care for illegal immigrants than they care about serving you, the American people. Until Democrats vote for the clean, Republican-backed continuing resolution to reopen the government, the White House is unable to answer your call or respond to your questions. We look forward to hearing from you again very soon. And in the meantime, please know President Trump will never stop fighting for you. Thank you, and God bless you.
We're approaching a week since the government shut down, and you have the red and blue gangs fighting once again, with the American people caught in the middle. The blue doing whatever they can to convince the public that the shutdown isn't their fault. They're just fighting for healthcare, while the red says it's definitely their fault because they refuse to pass a clean bipartisan bill just to keep the government open, while they continue to argue over healthcare. So yeah, we're quickly approaching a week, and both sides are blaming each other.
We begin with the government shutdown and the question, what will it take for Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill to end it? It began at 12:01 a.m. Wednesday after the Senate could not reach the 60 votes required to pass a continuing resolution to keep the government funded until November 21st. With every Republican except for one senator voting for it and most Democrats except for 3 voting against it. At the center of the dispute is whether to extend enhanced tax credits for the Affordable Care Act that are set to expire at the end of the year.
But you know what? I've got to give it up to President Biden. President Biden never gave up. President Biden consistently called in all 4 corners, which would be the leaders of the House, minority and majority, and the leaders of the Senate, majority and minority. And he consistently tried to make sure that he toed the line and did not give up things that were absolutely critical, but he would give some. And that's what negotiations look like. It's usually a situation where no one is exactly happy. But at the end of the day, he felt like the most responsible thing he could do was to make sure that he could keep the government open. And I can say for the last 4 years, we were able to enjoy what stability looked like in every sense this administration swore in January. It has been nothing but chaos.
We passed a clean continuing resolution 2 weeks ago, so we gave Democrats plenty of time to voice any concerns that they had, but this is a clean continuing resolution. It is not a government funding bill that we passed that is full of conservative priorities, Republican priorities. It's not a partisan bill. It's in fact the same piece of legislation that Democrats have voted on 13 times in the past. So we did our job. We sent that over to the Senate, and Senate Democrats simply rejected it. So this is a shutdown that was created by Democrats, and I hope that they will come to their senses and get us out of this.
Jasmine Crockett came out and said it's Trump's fault because the government didn't shut down under Biden, when you have Republicans saying almost all Democrats voted against the bill, referring to the bipartisan bill that Democrats are rejecting because Republicans claim they're fighting to provide health care for illegals.
So the Democrats want to give away $1.4 billion of free motherfucking money to the immigrants for health care. And if not, if the other side don't agree with it, they talking about shutting down the motherfucking government. Why the do you just fight so hard for everybody but your own motherfucking motherfucking people. I'm sorry, those folks weren't supposed to be here to begin with. I don't really give two flying f***s. What about us? What about us motherfuckers who struggle to pay for health care? And even though we pay a fortune on our motherfucking health care, it still ain't enough. It still ain't enough. You still gotta come out of pocket for hella shit. Motherfuckers dying because they can't afford health care around this bitch. Are you f***ing kidding me? You be dying and have to be motherfucking airlifted. You know how much that costs? I saw a lady post her bill. It was almost $60,000 motherfucking dollars. That's what we deal with when it comes to healthcare. Sorry, not motherfucking sorry. They gotta fend for their goddamn self. Help us, Americans, before you worry about helping everybody else. God, I'm sick of they motherfucking ass. And you know what? I don't even think the money going to the people. The money they want to give to the illegal immigrants, it ain't going to the illegal immigrants. It's going in their pocket. It's got to be.
Do Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, Americans...
Excuse me, stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But are Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
So then yes, is the answer to that question. She could have easily said, no, we don't want health care for people who are here illegally, and they need to be removed from our country. She could have came out and said that, no problem. But she didn't. She said we want health care for everybody. That means people who are in this country illegally who should not be here. Also, under Trump's big beautiful bill, there has been $50 billion allocated to rural health and rural hospitals. On top of that, Republicans have tried to pass a clean CR, a clean continuing resolution, to keep the government funded while they debate about healthcare and other things. Democrats have said no. They're using the filibuster in the Senate to stop this from passing. So they could choose to have a clean bill that funds the government and just keeps things as they are right now, but they're actually using this as leverage to try to get what they want. They're saying in order for us to fund the government, you guys need to roll back certain provisions from the one big beautiful bill. So again, Republicans have tried to pass a clean continuing resolution just to keep the government running. Democrats are trying to use this as leverage to try to force policy changes. So they'll use the Senate filibuster to stop this from passing and then claim Republicans are causing a shutdown. It's like sticking a bunch of metal into gears turning and then blaming the gears for stopping. You shoved a bunch of metal in the gears. When they say this is a Republican shutdown, that is a lie. A more accurate term would be a Schumer shutdown, because Schumer and his allies in the Senate are using the filibuster to stop a clean continuing resolution from passing.
What the Democrats are demanding is that illegal aliens that care for them in an emergency room should be reimbursed at a higher rate
to the hospitals
than American citizens, young pregnant women. They want to pay more for illegal aliens than U.S. citizens, and we are against that. The reason it's illegal right now for illegal aliens to receive taxpayer-funded benefits is because Republicans wrote it into the law July 4th. Don't take my word for it. Look at page 57, section 2141 of Chuck Schumer's counterproposal. It's on my website at speaker.gov. Everybody go look. Don't take my word for it. Read their section. They want to reverse those changes.
All I know is if they keep this game up, I don't think the blue wave for Democrats is coming during the midterms. When most Americans look at the truth between the headlines, I don't think they're going to like the idea that their government got shut down over non-citizens. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this mess below. Special thank you to Rob P. I appreciate you, Rob, for all of your support for the channel, as well as Dark Power. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.